can see that the chairperson is locked in. Let me just find out from the chairperson what is happening.
Totally unacceptable. This is totally unacceptable. This is not how we do business of parliament. You cannot tell members to log in and then you let them wait and there's no explanation whatsoever.
Okay, Ntate, my apologies. Can I just call the chairperson, please?
Can you just call China to come and explain to us what's happening here?
Okay, Ntate.
Moss, what time is the meeting scheduled for?
Chair, initially it was scheduled for 3:15.
Not 3:30.
3:15, Chairperson.
That's it. Okay.
Yes, Chair.
No, I've been here. I apologize then. I thought the meeting is scheduled for 3:30. I'm waiting. I'm also waiting for the meeting to start. That's my mistake. I should have long started because I logged in long before that.
Sure, Chair.
It's 15:15, not 3:30.
Yeah, it's 15:15, Chair, not 3:30.
No, I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry. I think we then need to start with the meeting.
Recording in progress.
Fuad? Hello, Fuad? Hello, Moss?
Person?
Yes, tell Fuad to disable my video because it says so that I must switch on my video.
Okay, Chairperson. He must disable it.
Is that disabled?
Should I ask him to disable it?
To enable it because it is disabled.
Okay.
Yes. Honorable members, I think we must start with our meeting. Firstly, let me outrightly apologize because I thought that this meeting, is my video okay?
Your video is not okay. It needs to be adjusted.
Yes, let me.
Now you are fine, Chairperson.
Is that okay? Okay, it's fine.
Yes.
I was saying that I thought that the meeting starting at 3:30 and not 3:15. I really apologize for that. It is my fault, but be that as it may, I think we must start with our meeting. Firstly, let me take this opportunity to welcome all of you, honorable members, and all of our guests who are part of this important meeting. The focus of this meeting in the main is going to be on the Manguang Metropolitan Municipality. We have convened this meeting because we think it is quite important to engage with the municipality on quite a number of pressing issues. And out of this meeting, I'm sure it will give us a sense where the municipalities is in terms of its state. What is it that has been happening in that municipality? I've just gone through the list of members who are present here. I see it's myself. I see Honorable Karen Fesser. I see Honorable Ethel Nkosi. I see Honorable Sileku. I see Honorable Bartlett. I see Honorable Shaik. I see Honorable Zandamela. Yes, I think we are then going to accordingly proceed with this meeting. As I indicated, the focus of this meeting is Manguang. We are going to engage with the municipality in that respect. As I pointed out, there are a lot of issues that we need to engage with. Having said that, let me again take this opportunity to welcome the Honorable MEC for Cocta in the Free State, Honorable Mhlathuze Water, you are heartily welcome together with your team. I must take this opportunity to also welcome the delegation from Salga. I ensure that we extend an invitation to Salga, Free State, so that we accordingly engage with the municipality as well. Take this opportunity to welcome Your Worship, the Mayor of Mangaung, Honorable Mhlathuze, and welcome everybody who is part of this important meeting. Just as a way of sketching out the background, Mangaung is one of the key municipalities in our country. It is one of the 8 metropolitan municipalities that is category A municipality, a high capacity municipality as it should be. But the background of this story is that you remember that around 2019, 2020, the Minister of Finance invoked Section 139 or requested the provincial government of the Free State to invoke Section 139(5) of the Constitution in relation to Mangaung itself. You invoke Section 139(5) of the Constitution because, in your view, as a provincial department, that municipality has got serious, I must underline that, serious financial problems. It is in financial distress, or it is unable to pay its creditors. It is unable to fulfill its financial obligations, but you also do so because that municipality is unable to develop its own financial recovery plan. That must demonstrate on how the municipality is going to be stabilized from a financial point of view. That is how you invoke Section 139(5) of the Constitution. We did engage with, subsequent to that, the provincial government of the Free State did accordingly invoke that provision of the Constitution. I think it is subsection A and subsection C. A means you issue a directive. C, it means you appoint an administrator and a team in that municipality to can manage that part of the whole administration. That is the financial aspect of the municipality. That is what you do in relation to Section 139(5) A and 139(5) We did engage with the municipality over a very, very protracted period. December 2020, we took it upon ourselves as this committee. We visited the Free State, and one of the key municipalities that we visited was Mangaung. We went there. We have our own report, and I'm sure that report has been circulated to members so that members capture in precision why was the visit, what issues emanated from that, and what kind of recommendations that we were making in relation to the Mangaung municipality. That being the case, last year, the 1st of November, there were elections. These elections ushered in a new council of Mangaung, democratically elected so by the people of Mangaung. But subsequent to that, there's been a lot of issues emerging out of that municipality. There's a lot of coverage in the media about the state of the municipality itself. I remember in one of the protracted media coverage about the municipality was the bad roads in that municipality, that the roads were very, very terrible. One of those was the fact that there was no water in the municipality. If that is true, I say imagine one of the 8 metropolitan municipalities in the country. Lately, there's been issues around the municipal manager, the litigation processes, how the issues of Mangaung play themselves in court. Lately, again, there's been issues around the establishment of a metropolitan police service in that municipality. Now, this being an important municipality, we can't sit in our laurels. We can't fold our arms. We can't sit back and not do the necessary interventions in relation to the powers and the work that is entrusted to the NCOP in relation to oversight. It is in that context that we are calling this meeting to discuss with the different players that we have invited to this municipality. I had also said to Mos, and I'm sure that was also extended to the province, that we also expect the MEC for finance in that municipality to attend the meeting. This is the background for this meeting, a background that I think is quite important. It will help us as we engage and deliberate with the issues pertaining to these municipalities. In relation to the apologies, we did receive an apology from the Deputy Minister of Cooperative, who is not part of this meeting. Unfortunately, she's committed somewhere, I'm sure. I think that they are interviewing a DDG in the National Department of Cooperative. That is why she's not part of this meeting. Mos, can I check with you any other apologies that you have received to this meeting?
Thank you, Chairperson. From members of the committees, only from Honorable Mkiva.
Honorable Mkiva, yes.
Yes, sir.
Who has not logged in from members of this committee, of our committee? I know that it is Friday, it's a bit awkward. Or let me say this, we are okay with forming your quorum, but in the same vein, just check who is not here and maybe just check with them so that you remind them to log in for the purpose of this meeting.
Noted, Chairperson.
With that in mind, can I request you in the same vein to flight the agenda for the meeting so that we know that we are going to follow that sequence for the meeting. I know that we are going to receive the reports from different players. We are going to engage with the Department of Cooperative in the Free State. We are going to also engage with the municipality itself. 2 days ago, I had a discussion with the executive mayor about this meeting and in what way should they prepare for this meeting. We have also extended an invitation to Salga for this meeting, and at the end, after the meeting, or the fourth item would be to consider the report that was placed before us last week in relation to the directive that was issued by the Minister of Water and Sanitation, Honorable Senzum. Without further ado, can I invite the Honorable MEC, Honorable Mhlathuze Water. You can have some few remarks and guide us in terms of how you are going to unfold this presentation before the committee. Over to you, Honorable MEC.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson Duduva, and good afternoon to all the members here present. I need to make some few apologies. One is the HOD and other officials are engaged in the portfolio committee in the legislature, but they will join us later. And also, I'm told that the MEC Treasury supposed to be here, and but
I'm here,
there was an
sir.
apology. Okay.
I'm here, sir. For the
No,
next.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think without wasting your time on the nature of the intervention, because it also had some phases, the rescue phase, the stabilization phase, as well as sustainability phase. And the Ndadem Kasa would speak on all those things. I needed only to raise a few issues that are a concern to us, and also the attitude that the Executive Council has now developed in terms of engaging with the municipality, especially in view of what is happening there. The recent developments in the metro and their impact, if you look at the establishment of the Metro Police, the court action on appointments, the council meeting held on the 26th January, the impact of the council resolutions, etc. These will be the issues that I would like to talk to. If you check especially the establishment of the Metro Police, notwithstanding the process that was fully engaged and the process that was adopted as far back as 2012 by the municipality, and the comprehensive process that was followed to secure the necessary approvals from all relevant authorities such as SAPS, and approvals were granted subject to suspensive conditions such as the number of members of the Metro Police, the expenditure that could be incurred for operations, etc. In 2020, the MEC for Police, Roads and Transport in the province gave the municipality approval to commence with the process of establishing the Metro Police, and this was duly gazetted. In the preparation of the budget for 2021 financial year, the budget for public safety was shifted to Metro Police to allow for the establishment process. The understanding then was that there would be no additional cost to be incurred, meaning the funds provided then would be kept as such, and that the establishment process would be phased in throughout the medium-term revenue and expenditure framework. Preliminary process were embarked upon, for instance, procurement of all critical items for the launch, as well as the refurbishment of several buildings, branding of some fleet, and placement and recruitment of personnel. In the placement and recruitment of personnel, council policies were not followed, amongst which is the fact that personnel were appointed without the necessary authorization by the acting city manager and the concomitant ratification by the lead provincial EXCO representative. This discrepancy came to the attention of the acting city manager, as well as the National Treasury and the province of the Free State. And given the serious financial challenges the municipality would be faced with, National Treasury wrote a letter to the acting city manager advising that the process of establishing of the Metro Police should be suspended subject to certain conditions met, amongst which was a detailed and comprehensive report on the entire process. What is very important, just on the eve of the launching, the Premier, myself and the team from the from the Metro met, and after engagement as well as the labor, the labor unions, we then resolved, because it became clear that the process of the LLF were not also followed through, and the union was not happy with what was happening. And we then agreed as that collective that we will not go on with the launch and until the processes that the union and others were not happy with were followed to the latter. And we gave ourselves time that the processes would go even through the weekend and all the people who were involved needed to deal with the matter accordingly. But unfortunately, the following day, immediately after the meeting, the following day, the MMC responsible went ahead with the demonstration of the fleet and everything, and indicating that it was not necessary for the launch, but they were going ahead. And this created a lot of challenges for us. And that also led to the deputy president, when visiting the province, had challenges that he had to address, and some agreements were made and the processes that needed to be followed up. But this unfortunately, this issue created more challenges for us, and this is something that we need to deal with. But also all appointments made for Metro were to be rescinded by a court order. All decisions taken in relation to the establishment of Metro Police were to be reversed, etc. Traffic officers who were now appointed as Metro Police were to revert to their original positions, etc. And then the court action on appointments was then initiated by the city manager. That was filed on the 27th of October 2021. The matter was heard on the 30th November 2021, and the judgment was delivered on the 15th of December 2021. The municipality lost the case on the technicality revolving around the appointment of the acting city manager, in the sense that although the local standing of the municipal manager was under question, when in actual fact on the 27th of October, when he filed the papers, he was still the acting city manager appointed by the council, duly appointed by the council. And I just need to go back a bit, that just before the elections last year, it became apparent to us as the department that the council was going to the last sitting before the elections, and we advised that they should make sure that before rising, they appoint an acting city manager, or they extend the period of acting of the then city manager at the time, because his period of acting was ending on the last day of October 2021, just a day before the elections, which were to take place on the 1st of November. Unfortunately, the lack of leadership in the council resulted in this matter not dealt with as it was supposed to be, and it left us with no option but understanding, of course, that the authority, the appointing authority in terms of the law, rested with the council, but the law did not anticipate that you would have a council that will be irresponsible in exercising its responsibility. And this comes a long way, that since the municipality had no permanent city manager for a period longer than a year, and that did not move the leadership of the council to ensure such was effected. And this was also the case when they were supposed to deal with this matter and resolve the matter. They actually chose to do the opposite, and decided that it was not necessary to appoint the city manager or acting city manager at the time they were going for election. And that was not something that was going to be possible for the municipality. And looking at what was at stake, balancing all these issues, we then took upon ourselves with the lead person in the intervention team to ensure that we appoint as a department, extend the period of acting of the municipal manager, knowing, of course, that the authority did not rest with the department, but with the council that had failed to exercise its responsibility at the time, and we could not allow the municipality that had such situation to be without a municipal manager. With hindsight, you would see that it would have taken them 21 days from November 1st up until the day when the council was constituted, the municipality was constituted. And that was going to be an unattainable situation in that municipality, that it would have gone 21 days without the acting city manager. So we took upon ourselves, acting with the lead intervention person, and Adam Kasa, and we then extended the period of acting. And with the understanding that when the council is constituted, they will then condone this decision or reject that. And fortunately, in the subsequent sittings after they were established, they went on to condone, took a decision to condone such an action, and this was a background to what happened to the 27th October court action that was filed, that led to the case, the municipality losing the case on the technicality that the then acting city manager, who was from the 1st of November up until the council took a decision to condone such an action, was appointed outside the council. As I indicated, the council had abdicated its responsibility and left us with no choice but to do what we had done. And then the court felt that Mr. More was the then city manager, acting city manager, was not appointed correctly, and unfortunately that case led to a number of other issues that resulted in the council sitting because of the request from 2 or so members of the council, who then the speaker allowed such to take place, and that led to a decision taken, which then led to to the Cooperative department taking the matter to court, because we felt that the council acted wrongfully, and we needed to correct what was happening, and that matter resulted in the decision that was taken by the court at the time, which led to the court indicating that the then person was appointed could not continue doing his responsibility. And we then advised also the council to sit and appoint an acting person. And the first sitting did not materialize because they received an advice that they should not do so, because they would be in contravention of the court order. And that led to the ultimately the meeting sitting, and the current person acting was appointed. But what is actually also some of the challenges that we see, we have given you the report, members can go through we want to save time. But what I would like to indicate is that what we have seen in the municipality is actually a serious concern for the provincial government, because of this bickering that is going there, and that is causing the challenges that we are seeing in the municipality. In short, we're having a challenge in terms of the leadership in the municipality, and the way things are dealt with are actually far from what we had expected when we had the intervention, and believing that the municipality, the leadership there would also deal with this. This is also compounded by the fact that despite what we also had indicated to them, that they should appoint people who would be competent and look into a number of other things. The council went ahead and appointed the current city manager, knowing very well that month end, the term of office, the contract of many of the HOD, including the current person who's acting, would be coming to an end. And we have indicated, we have called also written to the municipality long before, indicating to them that they need to ensure that they advertise all these posts and they will not extend any period of the people that are assessed, whose contract is coming to an end. So I just want to indicate that we have so many other issues in this municipality. I think that Mhlathuze would give you all the details, but the situation is far from being okay. And we have tried to intervene in many ways, but it is proving all the time to be a challenge for us because of the kind of councillors we have in that municipality and many other challenges that we have. I would, Chairperson, if you allow, the provincial government has also taken a decision to engage national, especially with regard to the intervention that is needed in this municipality. And national has also sent a team from National Treasury and COCTA, and they said they spend a lot of time interviewing all those who are concerned from COCTA in the province, Treasury, the office of the mayor, the office of the speaker, the council whip, as well as the labor. And I think all those that they needed to consult, they would have consulted. We are just waiting for the report and the recommendations of the report that will then serve before the Executive Council, and necessary process then would take place and be followed in order to deal with the situation in Mangaung. I thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Honorable MEC. I saw your HOD as logged in. Can I check with him whether does he want to make some additions from what you presented? HOD?
No.
HOD? Okay, he seemed not to be there. Honorable MEC, you said who's going to make some additions in the absence of the HOD? Or you are okay with the presentation?
The lead person in the intervention, Ndadem Kasa.
On Ndadem Kasa, yes. But before that, can we take the submission from the MEC of Finance? I understand your presentation, you focused on the issues around the police in the main, as well as the situation around the acting municipal manager, which brought a lot of litigations. But we specifically want the province to speak to the issues of the intervention in terms of Section 1395 of the Constitution to get an update, a full update. I've seen that you were trying to do that, but you skipped a lot of information. But this, I think, in our respective view, is very, very much important. That being the case, can the Honorable MEC for Treasury come in, please?
Can I, Chairperson, just before?
Okay.
The reason that I did that, it was a helicopter view of the issues that are actually creating a challenge at the moment and that are impacting on the intervention that we have. But I think the details in terms of the presentation, Ndademo Kasa will give all the details with regard to the intervention. I do not want to repeat that and bore the meeting on those issues.
No, it's okay. I understand that. No, it's okay. Ndademo Kasa, over to you then. Ndademo Kasa, take us through that process.
Thanks a lot, Chairperson. I'm Thomas Mkaza. I hope everybody can hear me. Thanks a lot, Chairperson, members of the committee, the leadership of the municipality, and as well as my colleagues who are in the meeting. We submitted a presentation which is really a brief analysis of what has been happening in this municipality insofar as the intervention is concerned. I'm not sure whether there's somebody who can assist in flighting that particular intervention, but I can very, very quickly go through it if you don't mind, Chairperson. I don't know how you propose to do it at the moment.
No. Fuad will flight it, but in the meantime, you can proceed.
Go through it. Thanks a lot, Chairperson. Firstly, Chairperson, this intervention needs to be understood in context. During the year 2018, this municipality, out of its own volition, sat down together with National Treasury and crafted a voluntary financial recovery plan. However, unfortunately, that plan was never implemented. So as a result, it led to this intervention that we now currently have, which was invoked in December 2019. And the intervention itself, it's structured in such a way that it is not just a short-term type of an intervention. It's a slightly longer term type of an intervention. It takes over a period of approximately 3 years minimum. And it has been structured into 3.
Are you still there?
From total collapse, specifically financially, because a lot of things were happening. For instance, conditional grants were not ring-fenced, huge loans were not honored, Bloom Water and other creditors were not paid, service providers were not paid. There were a whole host of problems that were at this municipality at that time. So it needed a quick rescue out of that situation. That phase would then be followed by what we have called a stabilization phase, which means that then the municipality would start to actually manage its own affairs without necessarily huge intervention externally. And the last phase was what we call the sustainability phase, where the municipality would then run on its own. In the slides that we have circulated, Chair, we have just put this in a beautiful slide to show what is contained in each particular slide. Now, because we are still in the rescue phase, we thought it wise that we should indicate to yourself what exactly were the targets set for this initial phase. And by the way, this comes out of a mandatory financial recovery plan, which has been signed off and approved by National Treasury and the MEC Provincial Treasury. So what comes out of that is what I'll just quickly take you through. In the rescue phase, the very first target was that at the time when we got in, the budget of the municipality was unfunded. In fact, at that time, they were busy with the adjustment budget. Itself, it was unfunded. So we had to move in and assist. And I need to say that that particular target has been achieved. In fact, the current budget ultimately is indeed also a funded budget. So the adjustment budget of 2019-20 was funded, 2021 budget was funded, 21-22 budget, as we have it, is actually funded. The next target was monitoring of cash and cash balances. And we have been looking at this on a daily basis. There are sometimes some challenges where we do not have sufficient cash in the bank due to drop in a collection rate. Like, for example, in the last December, we had a bit of a challenge in terms of our collection. Cost containment, this is a continuous problem, Chairperson, in that it is an activity that must be undertaken by literally everybody else in the municipality. And from time to time, we have to stop some of intended expenditures and so on. And then the next one was about the collection rate. Chairperson, we are hovering around, averagely, around 81%. It has been from 72, 78, and in December last year, averagely, we were at 81. However, in the calculation of the current budget, the collection rate that was used was a 79% rate. The next thing, as I said earlier, conditional grants, when we arrived in 2020, were used for operational costs and not for what they were intended for. And as a strategy, we came in and we ring-fenced all conditional grants. As I speak to you at the moment, there has been no infringement into the conditional grants. They are now used specifically for the projects that they have been intended for. Another problem that we're still really struggling with, it's really to keep to the 30-day payment of creditors, and that it's largely impacted upon by the collection rate. And of course, COVID did not help in any way last year. So it is only now, I'm happy that the acting city manager is part of the meeting and the mayor, that an aggressive now campaign has started towards improving the collection rate in the municipality. Another issue was around, Chair, the unauthorized, irregular, fruitless, and wasteful expenditure. Now, this is a big one. When we arrived, the amounts were huge, Chairperson, well in excess of $1 billion in this space. And when you look at the Auditor General's report, the last report, you'll realize that there has been a significant reduction of the UIFW. And that has been based on the fact that we then started as a municipality tightening up internal controls, which means expenditure would not be incurred, not unless all the necessary documentation has been supplied and everything that is needed is actually submitted. If it is not, we would not ratify such expenditures, and that has significantly assisted the municipality. And then two key things that are still a problem, and I don't want to even go too much on that, and that is service delivery generally. We have serious problems in this municipality about water losses. As I speak to you at the moment, I think water losses are standing somewhere between 39 and 41%. Just water losses. That is water which is paid for as bulk, but there is no money received for it because it's not being consumed by any other person. It is just it just flows down the streets. The next issue, which is still a huge problem, there is really a need of serious capital injection in this one, and that is the spillages that we are observing in the area, and that is caused. Yes, to some extent, probably our own teams, which are not enough, but to a very great extent by the aging infrastructure, which is no longer able to carry the load of sewer that runs through it. And from time to time, therefore, it bursts and it creates a problem. So for the municipality to really deal with that problem, there is going to be a need for a huge capital injection. On the roads, Chairperson, that is another biggest problem. You have mentioned it in your opening remarks. Indeed, there are funds that made available for this, but they are not enough. The funds that are available are not enough for this municipality to really deal with this particular perennial problem, as I call it. You see, Chair, if you do not maintain a road and it deteriorates, when you do try to maintain it, to deal with it at a later stage, the cost increases. That is, the more the road deteriorates, the higher the cost of actually repairing it. So what needs to really start happening in the municipality is that as roads are constructed, they should have clear pavement management systems which would assist in the maintenance of those roads over the life of that particular given road. Chair, another issue that was a problem when we arrived was an issue around governance. Now, when we talk governance, Chairperson, we talk issues around committees of council. And fact of the matter is that some of the committees were not meeting. Only MPAC and the audit committee were really meeting regularly, but some of the Section 80 committees were simply not meeting. And I dare say, Chair, I am one of the most honest persons sometimes. I just say that at this point in time, as things stand, 4 months down the line, we only have chairpersons of committees, but we do not have the committees themselves. Now, it may seem to be a small little issue, but it has serious impact in the operations and the functionality of a municipality. If you do not have full-fledged Section 80 committees, which are actually expected to conduct oversight on the operations of the municipality. Chairperson, some of the things that we have actually looked into where there has been a bit of some achievements. As I've said, the audit committee is meeting. There are issues around litigation, and I think this is a matter that is going to need some focused attention because last time when I checked, for instance, the litigation register, and I personally and my team were not impressed with what we saw on the list because some of those matters that are on that register are so outdated. You know, it's matters of 2013 and so on. They're still on the register. And we are saying there's a need for that register to be cleaned up. That also goes for the issues around labor relations matters. We think that there is also a need for an exercise to actually look into that because part of the problems of the municipality, Chair, is around issues of consequence management, is around issues of performance management. There is simply no consequence management in the municipality, Chair. And it is something that must be brought back as soon as yesterday. They do not have a performance management system. Performance management is actually done manually in a metro as big as this one. Chair, another issue is around management of discipline in the municipality. It really, really needs serious attention. We as an intervention team are completely not satisfied with how discipline is actually managed in the municipality. You have instances where charges are simply dropped, and these are things that are extremely strange when you deal with issues of discipline. Over and above what I have said, what is it that we as an intervention team see to be key things that need urgent attention, and we really need support of literally everybody else from national right down to the municipality itself? One, there is serious problems around political instability in the council. Just to give you an example, Chair, we came in here in 2020 January. In August, the person who was the mayor was voted out. It took exactly a year for another executive mayor to be elected. Now, the impact of a situation like that is that you are then seated with no decisive leadership, because you have acting people, and normally people who act are never long-term visionaries, because they focus on what is before them at that point in time and deal with that. So for a period of 12 months, you sit with a metropolitan municipality that does not have an executive mayor. Surely that begins to create some instability in the organization. But not only that, there has been very clear cases of political interference. We, as the intervention team, in certain instances, have actually been subjected to this interference. At some point, it was said, we can't address council. And yet we are not employees of council, but be as it may, political instability, and this is manifested in so many things. As we speak now, there are all these political matters that I guess members and yourself are aware of. Issues of political interference. It's quite a number we can share with yourselves. Unfortunately, we don't have them here. Share with yourselves emails, instructions that were given, which were not supposed to have been given. I've spoken about consequence management, Chair. I think in this municipality, if we were to look at the number of people who actually were subjected to any disciplinary hearing, I'm not sure whether there will be more than 10. And this is a municipality that has more than 2,000 employees. Performance, there is simply no system. If you want to get into what is submitted on a quarterly basis as the quarterly performance reports, you would simply, throw your hands in the air. Let me just give you an example. For a period of 2 years, I think it was 2017, 2018, 2019, this municipality returned more than 650 million rands to national treasury of USDG, of the grants. Reason is because these grants were never used. And if you are to go deeper into this thing, I am not sure what one would actually unearth. And therefore, we are saying, if you had a performance management system linked to a very clear project management unit, you would have actually managed each and every project and ensured that It is done within budget, and it is done within the project schedule, you know. But because you don't have these type of systems embedded in the council, you therefore end up with a situation where projects are not completed on time, and therefore money is returned. In fact, just 2 months or a few weeks ago, we had the council has written back to say we cannot spend 50 million. And when you ask why, no, it's because there are problems in supply chain. No, it's because a submission was not signed by so and so and so and so. 50 million in a municipality that is faced with serious service delivery performance. And the last one from my side, Chair, is the whole issue of leadership. Please, sir, the majority of employees, when they look at their political leadership being torn apart and moving in different directions, and looking at the executive management team being torn apart, moving in different directions, they themselves end up being in complete disarray. And the net result of that is that you have therefore an organization in chaos, and it gets manifested at the level of the services that are being given to communities. Chairperson, I will stop at that point. I am very sorry that we did not provide all the necessary financial details, but we do have these, and we can submit these at our earliest convenience. By Monday morning, Chair, you can get a complete financial.
But just there, why didn't you provide them for this meeting? You knew that this meeting is going to take place today. We postponed this meeting on Tuesday in order to allow you more time. We had not received your presentation. Why? Give us that explanation. Why these documents are not part of this meeting? Because they are important. They speak to the financial situation of Mangaung. That is why you are there in terms of Section 1395, to stabilize the situation financially, and you need to convince us that you are doing your job in the balance of the documents that you provide to us, and those documents are not here. Give us an explanation why they are not there.
Thanks, Chair. The first explanation is that when we're informed of this meeting, in fact, I did not even expect that I was going to make this particular presentation. The HOD said, give me this information, and that's the information that we gave him. However, Chair, I can now, as I speak to you, email this information because I actually have it before me here as I'm talking to you. If I can just get somebody to whom I can email the information, I can actually do so.
No,
I would like to apologize for that.
I don't know how will that be helpful, because we also need to read them, internalize them, analyze them, whether they make sense and they speak to the figures in the way that we're expecting them. But it's okay. It's okay. We've heard you. Honorable members will engage with your presentations. Can I invite the municipality itself, the executive mayor of Mangaung? You will guide us in terms of how you would want to present your version. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Chair, Mr. China Dodovu. MECs present, MEC Tukwana, as well as MEC Brown, the Speaker of Mangaung, as well as the Deputy Mayor, our Chief Whip. It's so unfortunately that the MMC of Finance was not informed that I must invite her, as well as the Chair of MPEC.
But Executive Mayor, if we invite you and you know that we come to speak to issues of finance, you could as well invite the MMC to be part of this meeting. If we invite you, you use your discretion as to who else must come to support you in order to give you the necessary information and the tools that you need in order to enhance this meeting. It can't be our problem that the MMC is not invited.
Yeah, like I'm saying that if on the document that we received, actually she's not there, it will be difficult really for me to invite. Nevertheless, you requested us to make a presentation of which we've got different offices. There's an office of the chief whip, there's an office of the speaker, the executive mayor. We do have administration here. The presentation, which was made by your good selves as well as the MEC, starts from the 19th of 19th December 2020, where the intervention came. That time, the MEC, the deputy minister, raised a number of issues, of which our presentation will go to that. They spoke about, one, us unable to pay Bloom Water, the banks, the service delivery issues, the issues of the money that we get as a grant, not being able to use it, issues of labor. I'm talking about your human resources that results in the bill, which is very high. I'm talking about your overtime, because that is a management issue. So far, what I can say is that when it comes to banks, currently we are able to pay the banks and some other issues. In terms of collection, we are a metro. We're expected to collect at least 85%. As we speak now, our collection is around 79%. It's true that there's issues of political stability. Sometimes you'll call this council meeting, sometimes you'll call another one, but it's work in progress. But you've got issues of labor. You'll get this letter, that letter. There's a letter written by the city manager. There's a letter written by MMCs, which are talking about issues of supply chain, which are talking about issues of labor relations. I managed to talk to the city manager as well as the team of the intervention unit to say, can we deal with this matter? Give me a report. They gave me a report and I reported to the MEC about that. But the comprehensive report, I will come in later, will be given by the acting city manager. And then I will take all the questions. But what is more important is that the intervention unit is there. We are also there. We don't have a permanent city manager. From time to time, we appoint this one and that one, and that creates instability when it comes to administration. Like I said earlier on, that I will allow the acting city manager to make a proper presentation, then we'll come in after that presentation. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, EM. Over to you, acting city manager.
Chairperson?
Yes, Moss.
We don't have the city mayor's presentation for members to share the presentation, please.
Can you respond to that, Your Worship? When I discussed with you on Tuesday, as we were inquiring about the postponement of the meeting, I did indicate to you that we were postponing the meeting precisely because we have not received the documents from that the provincial government had just submitted its report just before lunch, and members were not having more time to engage with those presentations. And I indicated that that presentation must reach us on Wednesday so that members of this committee are able to familiarize themselves with the issues, read the presentation, analyze it, and prepare themselves quite comprehensively for this meeting. Can you speak to that, why the presentation is not here?
Thank you, Chair. I had an opportunity to talk to the acting city manager about this matter. I indicated what is expected, and he said to me, he's preparing it, that report will be ready. Thanks.
Who actually is in charge of Manguang Municipality?
Honorable Chair,
There seems to be very, very serious problem that I personally, as the chair of the committee, take strong exception of. We can't be treated like that. I reject it. I object to it. We can't be treated like this. This municipality is one of the top 8 municipalities in the country. It should lead by example. We expect it to have the capacity, high capacity for that matter, to perform its functions. And then we can't leave this matter in the way that it is. We can't do that. I'm not going to allow it. As the chair, and I'm sure members of this committee will not allow this situation. We did discuss this, and out of our own accord, we agreed that the meeting must be postponed for today so that we are ready to engage with you. There is a crisis, Executive Mayor, in your municipality. All the signs are showing. All the signs are showing. There is ample evidence that there is crisis here. And this crisis, again, rest assure you, we are going to confront it. We are going to confront it. We are not going to leave it. Mangaung is not an exception. It's not different like all other municipalities that must work with us, that must cooperate with us, that must assist us and enable us to do our job. We want to do our job. We really want to do our job as members of parliament. We want to do our job. And please help us to do our job. If you can't, we will have to make certain recommendations about you in terms of how you conduct yourselves and how you cooperate with us. We can't allow that situation to happen. I see some few hands here, members raising their hands. Honorable Nkosi, Honorable Sileku, and Honorable Karen Fesser. Before we proceed, yes. Over to you in that order.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Greetings to your good self, the MEC, and all members present, and also my colleagues. Chair, really, we feel undermined as this committee. We can't come here. Remember, as we are indicating that this meeting was supposed to sit before this day, and it was rescheduled for today. And it is totally unacceptable that you can come to this meeting without presentations. And my problem is that, or my challenge is, if the presentations will follow us, what is the purpose of those presentations going to serve? Because we should have be given those presentations a long time ago so that we can familiarize ourselves with them. But if the executive mayor and the other presenter said the presentation will come after, I don't understand what are they thinking about us. Really, they are not taking us seriously. Even the excuse that is made by the EM with regards to the invitation of the MMC for finance, I don't think that we can entertain that. That is totally unacceptable. As the executive mayor, even the MMC for finance, it's not here. the executive mayor is the one who leads this municipality politically. He must be able to know all these departments, irrespective of the MMC is not here. Chair, really, we are not being taken seriously. And we've got our own things that we are supposed to be doing, but you left everything and prioritized this meeting. And seemingly we are not taken seriously. I must raise that concern. Thank you very much, Chair.
Yes, Honorable Slepen.
Thank you very much, Chair. Let me greet everybody on the platform. Chair, I think I have raised the issue of the postponement with you, specifically on the same issues that we are currently encountered or confronted with. Because we did actually, as you have said in your introduction, that we did visit Manguang, and one would have expected that we see progress. And having read the reports and listening to the news, we also, like they say in Afrikaans, Manguang boer agteruit. They are plowing backsides. So, Chair, and I don't want to repeat what the Honorable Ngosi is saying, but Chair, honestly, it is a sign of disrespect. When we invite people to do presentations, who don't forward the presentations to us. How do they expect us as members of parliament representing provinces to make informed decisions to rescue the situation in Manguang? It can never be accepted, Chair, that we postpone a meeting specifically because we receive a presentation a few hours before a meeting. And then we postpone and we give them more than 3 days to meet with us, and we tell them when they should send the presentation. They still don't meet the deadline. And then you come here, we've got someone who's got authority, who's an executive mayor, who works well with an accounting officer in terms of local government, tell us that, no, I spoke to the acting city manager. He said he was preparing the presentation. So that's why this place is in disarray, because there is no accountability here. No one knows what is expected. And Chair, we only received one presentation. We can only contribute and comment on one presentation. So, Chair, for me, if I was the chairperson, I was going to postpone this meeting, and then we get all these presentations so that we can have a proper engagement, with this municipality, because this is utter disrespect for the members of parliament. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Fisher, followed by Honorable Zandamela.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Good afternoon to everybody on the platform. I concur with my two colleagues that talked before me. We want to see all the presentations that had to be received by us. We want to see them all, and we want to see respect for our time. They cannot let us sit for a half an hour on a platform waiting, and they're not appearing. They're coming late. So they must respect the Parliament and the committee for the work the committee has to do, and see that we've got everything that we need. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Zandamela.
No, thanks, Chairperson. I fully agree with the colleagues who spoke before me. Without repeating everything that they said, Chairperson, this is really disappointing, especially coming from the mayor, who's supposed to be a political head and the head of that institution. He can't even account for his people that he leads within that municipality. I think the committee need to meet with regard to the presentation or whatever transpired today and take a decision. Thanks, Chairperson.
Thank you very much. I see two other hands that I don't know and recognize. The other one is Jimmy Mutsi. Who's Jimmy Mutsi?
Oh, no, thanks, Chair. Jimmy Mutsi is the regional chairperson of SAMU Union in Manguang.
Yes, okay. So I will give you a platform after this. It's quite important that we do that. And thank you very much that you are here.
Okay.
I will give you an opportunity to say something.
Okay.
Zingizi Nkungwana.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Zingizi Nkungwana.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. My name is Mzingisi Nkungwana, and I am the acting city manager here in Mangaung.
Yes, okay. City manager address this committee now on all the issues that we've just raised, including the fact that the presentation is not before us.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Firstly, I must indicate to the Chairperson that in the same boat that Mr. Mkaza from the intervention team finds himself in, it is the same boat that I find myself in. Firstly, I have never received any agenda of this meeting to say what is it that I should prepare. I have prepared myself because of everything else that I hear in the street, but not formal. For example, I have received WhatsApp from HOD Huma, from Cooperative to the effect that there's such
just wait there. Your worship, the mayor said to this meeting some few minutes ago that he's awaiting the presentation from you. And as far as I understand, he informed you that you need to prepare a presentation. Because as I said, I personally spoke to him on Monday or Tuesday, yes. I spoke to him regarding this and what we expect them to do, you to do as a municipality. Can you speak to that, please, and then you can continue?
Yes, the words of the executive mayor to me are as follows. There is this meeting that is being called by the select committee. Prepare yourself. As to what I must prepare myself, or what, that was never communicated to me. All I did was, as a result of listening to the discussions, to prepare myself to respond to the matters that are being said. I heard you also, Chair, saying that there were matters around me. I had prepared myself to speak on all the matters that are being raised, not that I was told to prepare any presentation of the city. The presentation I am preparing now is in relation to the benchmark. For this particular meeting, I have never been told to prepare any presentation, particularly speaking to certain subjects. So I wouldn't have known what to put in this presentation. Least I speak to matters that are irrelevant to this particular meeting. So in the same position that Mr. Mkaza finds himself in is the same position that I find myself in. So I relied now on the discussion that are happening here so as to speak myself to them. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. It means in short, we have nothing whatsoever from the metropolitan municipality. It's okay. Can I invite Mr. Ezekiel Motsi, Sam, just briefly address us on what you want to address us about?
No, thanks, Chair.
And please, in the course of doing that, take into consideration the discussion that is ensuing here. What is clear is that we are not going to proceed with the meeting in the light of this, but I will speak to these issues as I wrap up. Yes, over to you.
No, thanks, Chair. Let me also greet the leadership. Protocol observed. No, thanks, Chair. Let me just begin to say, you must see what we go through here in Mangaung as labor. This is nothing that you are seeing now here. And we would have appreciated if this was a contact meeting, because we were expecting also to put our submission forward so that you can go through what we are going through here, so that you familiarize yourself what's happening here. We have been saying people are playing Popo Haze here in Mangaung. So this doesn't come as a surprise. We thought also we must put something forward so that the community can go through our submission and compare it with the management. But we appreciate that we are giving attention to Mangaung. But we do really think it's too little too late, because this house is burning down off in Mangaung. My problem now, I do agree, it must be postponed so that everybody can put their submission forward. But the problem is, Chair, by the time we sit again, there won't be any municipality of Mangaung here, because things are deteriorating rapidly because of some of the HODs are going and some are doing illegal decisions, and ill-informed. So hence we met with Cooperative leadership, provincially and national. We said for so long, we are waiting for you to act on this. Let's put this municipality under full administration, dissolution of council. But yes, we agree, let's postpone the meeting so that we can also forward our submission as union to raise all the these things that are happening in Mangaung. We are totally not satisfied. We are leaderless here in Mangaung. We need strong political leadership, strong administration leadership. So that's what I want to say, Chair. But really, hence you see that even the voluntary plan that they made, they could not even implement it themselves because of political interference. Because the voluntary plan, it doesn't talk to the politicians who want to loot, who already have looted this municipality. So, Chair, please, I agree with you. They don't take you serious, as they have not been taking us serious as stakeholders in this institution. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. We know the points that you're raising. I've seen Mr. Lance Joel, the COO of Salga. Maybe from Salga, do you want to say something? I haven't seen the president of Salga in this meeting, who also happened to come from this province, the Free State. Anything from Salga in the light of the discussion and how it is ensuing? Any point from your side?
Honorable Chair, can I speak?
Is that Honorable Matabo? Oh, I wasn't aware that you were part of this meeting. Thank you very much. And afternoon to you, Your Worship.
Good afternoon, honorable members of parliament and the MEC and everyone who's here. Protocol is observed. I am the chair of Salga in the Free State, honorable chair.
Yes.
And we appreciate this interaction, but yes, the meeting can be postponed, but as Sam has indicated, we are wondering what is going to happen between now and the next meeting, because I think at a political level, there's a instability because Troika is not united, it's not working together. Councillors are divided, and there's recently suspensions that has happened. Even the deployee that has just spoken now, who has been seconded for intervention, were reliably informed that he's also suspended while seconded for intervention. So if the meeting is postponed, would really request that we should reconvene as soon as we can, because the municipality, I think, is at the verge of collapsing. That's what we can say as the Free State Salga. Thank you very much, Honorable Chair.
Yes. Thank you very much, Salga. Your Worship, and congratulations on your appointment as the chair of Salga in the Free State as well. Yeah. Look, firstly, as I indicated, we are totally unhappy about this development in the way that you are treating us, to ensure that we work together to find one another and together in unison resolve the problems that are afflicting the municipality of Mangaung. We are vindicated because what we see in this meeting is exactly what we read every day in the papers about this municipality. This municipality is a cause of concern to us. As I indicated, firstly, the national government advised the provincial government to invoke Section 1395 A and C of the Constitution because of the persistent problems which were obtained at the time in this municipality. And the provincial government did that in 2019 around December. I remember that there was a big discussion whether they did serve us with the notice or not in relation to the invocation of Section 1395 of the Constitution for this municipality. But be that as it may, we did interact with the municipality, and on our part as the LCOP, we did approve the intervention as it were. Subsequent to that approval, we visited the municipality as we indicated. And for us, and our report is showing that there were serious problems that needed attention. And we thought perhaps that with the ushering in of a new council, the situation will be okay. This council is only 4 months old, but it is characterized by so many problems. And it does show that the situation is far from improving. In fact, it is getting worse. It's about the municipal manager, it's about the heads of department, it's about the financial situation of the municipality, and lately it's about a process which some of you has got to fully explain. Why did you start the process of the establishment of the Metro Police in the way that you started, to an extent that appointments were made, commitments were made, expenditures were incurred, and at the end of the day, that process has gone nowhere, in essence, as it were. Now, you still have to explain that because this is totally fruitless expenditure. It's a fruitless expenditure because it is money that is going down the drain without any accountability and therefore without any consequences for those who are responsible for that. Now because you are all over the media and this situation is boring, it's really boring. And our concern is to ensure that this municipality is stable. We decided to come here. And as I said, we feel very much vindicated. On a Friday like this, we're not supposed to be here, but I really thank members of parliament for showing their commitment. On a Friday, they see the importance of engaging with Mangaung and that they are here. We were supposed to have this meeting on Tuesday, having communicated with all the parties a week before, 7 days before. I remember it was on the 28th when we started communicating with the provincial government that we need this kind of interaction. Documents are not coming, or if they come very late. And we take strong exception of that. Because we need to prepare ourselves. We take our job serious. If any one of you doesn't take his job serious, we take our job serious. We want to prepare. We want to engage with you in a very fruitful way, in a way that inspires confidence, in a way that will help us to resolve the problems as we see them. And if you provide us with documents late, or you don't give us the documents at all, it creates a problem for us. It is on those bases because we prioritized this meeting. We decided that we shall meet today at 2 o'clock and later at 3:15 for this engagement. And to our disappointment, it is the same situation. And sitting here just analyzing what is happening, I feel that the situation is much deeper, it's much worse than the way we anticipated it, than the way we have seen it. The situation is deteriorating by the day, and I fully agree with Comrade Matabo, as well as a leader from SAM who articulated their frustrations. With that in mind, I'm going to request members of parliament to agree that we have this meeting within a week, next week. We will have to check our diary. Even if it can be very late in the evening, this meeting must happen. This meeting must happen, and we are going to intervene. And can I just bring this to the attention of this municipality? If the provincial government is going to fail to intervene decisively in the way that it is expected to intervene, we have a power to recommend to the minister to invoke Section 1397 of the Constitution. And that 1397 of the Constitution says, if the provincial government is unable or it is disabled to perform its functions and intervene in a municipality that is deteriorating like this one, that we see in our eyes, before our eyes, the minister will have to take that particular measure to recommend for the dissolution as part of a solution to the problems, to recommend a dissolution to a municipality that behaves in this way. And this is something that we don't take light, but I think at the same time, it is something that is doable. In the best interest of the people of Mangaung, who expect service delivery, in the best interest of their welfare, their aspirations, and in the best interest of what they want to see happen in Mangaung, we will do it. We shall never prevaricate. We shall never blink. We'll do it in their best interest, because in our respective view, we would believe that those people that they have elected, they are playing marbles, they are playing with their lives. They do not want to render the services in the way that they made the commitments to them about the fact that they elected them in their respective offices. And this is an intervention that we will have no other option but to support or approve as the LCOP because of the situation that is deteriorating. Be that as it may, I'm going to request, and I'm going to speak slowly so that you know what I'm talking, you understand fully what I'm talking about. One, next week, we are going to have a follow-up meeting. After this meeting, I will talk with my office, the administration, to look at the diary of different members and make sure that we have a day next week where we reconvene. That is the first thing. The second thing is that we are going to take all of these presentations afresh, taking into consideration the fact that the MEC for COGT has already did his part and presented in respect of the situation vis-a-vis the municipal manager as well as the Metropolitan Police Service. If there are any other issues, he would have to do those particular issues. Two, we are going to get a presentation from the Department of Treasury. I hear myself very, very well. That presentation must entail progress after the invocation of Section 1395 of the Constitution. Subsection C, A, and C of the Constitution is quite important because when you intervened in the way that you intervened, you were saying the situation is deteriorating. There is a persistent financial deterioration that the municipality cannot fulfill its executive obligations from a financial point of view. You have said that this municipality cannot reconcile its own finances, and over and above that, this municipality was not having a financial recovery plan, and you were imposing a financial recovery plan in order to stabilize the situation. We could talk about the report of the Auditor General. We can talk about how the situation was deteriorating in a sense of issues of corruption and allegations of corruption and all of that in the municipality, that we are able to pay for ESCOM as well as your electricity, utility, and all of that. We can talk about those issues. But the fact of the matter is that this was imposed because of that. Now we need to hear from the Treasury in the province what is the current situation, and that situation must speak to figures. It must speak to the rent and cent of the situation. We were there, here we are. We were there, here we are in terms of the finances. I hear myself very, very well. Over and above that, we are then going to or if that is going to be done by the administrator, it's okay, because the administrator is the one who represents the provincial government at the level of the municipality. That is quite important. But we are also going to receive a presentation from the municipality itself. In the municipality, and I want to emphasize this, the intervention in terms of Section 1395 of the Constitution is in relation to finances, but we want to get a full report, Executive Mayor and the Acting MM, a full report about the state of affairs of this municipality. We want that report. That report must entail the political situation within the council, to know whether the council functions and functions optimally. What are the relationships between different offices, your troika and the municipal manager? We need to get to the bottom of those particular issues. But over and above that, we need to get a report around the issues of governance. Governance, whether the Section 79 or Section 80 committee are in place and they are functional, whether other related committees of council are in place and whether they are functional, whether council is able to sit regularly, and what are the dates in which this council was sitting, whether there is interference by anybody in relation to the appointment of staff or the appointment of service providers in terms of your supply chain management. We want you to speak to those issues. We want you to speak to the issues of financial management of your council, in terms of your budget, in terms of your adjustment budget, in terms of your expenditure patterns, in terms of collection of revenue, and all those related issues pertaining to financial management. You need to speak to those issues. But equally, you need to speak to the issues around service delivery. What are your projects and how you are implementing projects? And how far are you implementing projects that are there in Mangaung? Specifically, you must speak to the problems of water in the area. You must speak to the issues of road infrastructure, especially the deteriorating road infrastructure in Mangaung, including the potholes. You must speak to the issues of the sewer spillages that are happening in Mangaung. You must also speak, equally important, to the issues of housing and other related infrastructure. All issues pertaining to service delivery must be encapsulated in your report. This is what we expect you to talk about. That is very, very clear. We want a report, and again, importantly, you need to address us on your relationship with the current intervention that is done by the provincial government. Very, very clear. That is what we expect you to do. That is in relation to the municipality. Salga, you need to share with us your experiences with the municipality, whether in your view is this municipality functioning well, and the kind of support and not only support, and how you continuously strengthening the capacity of this municipality to do its function. What is your view about this municipality in comparison to other municipalities in the Free State? Because you are a parent body to this important, biggest municipality in the Free State. But we are also going to expect a report from both SAMI and IMATU. They must speak to us from their own perspectives, what they see in this municipality. And in that sense, we get a sense whether Is everything okay? Does the LLF, the local labor forum, functioning? And is it functioning effectively? Are the unions consulted on matters of importance? This is quite important, because if you don't consult the unions, you call in trouble to yourselves, and then labor relations can deteriorate within the municipality. That can lead to strikes, that can lead to slowdowns, that can lead to marches and disruptions that will ultimately affect service delivery. And we want to see a proper relationship between the municipality and the administration in particular, as well as the unions, as it were in Mangaung. Those are the presentations, very, very clear in this meeting. If there is anyone who doesn't understand anything, is free to raise that. But this is what we expect from the municipality. This afternoon, we are going to issue to you the invite to the meeting after having looked at our schedules, so that we accommodate this, so that we must have about 3 to 4 hour session with this municipality. I think it is our responsibility to save this municipality, and we are going to do exactly that. We are not going to allow this thing that municipalities are deteriorating, and this is deliberate. And the political leadership of the municipality and the administrative leadership of the municipality, they do not take their place, their rightful place, to ensure that they do what is expected of them. This is an issue of the past. Going forward in the future, we are not going to allow these things to happen. I thought perhaps I must sketch out this, but I see a lot of hands raised by different people. Maybe I could then take some few hands before I allow, before we wrap up the discussion on this meeting. I will give Honorable Mkiva, I will give Honorable Karen Fesser, before I allow all other stakeholders to can make their own input. I'll allow everybody who's raising their hands here. And who else? Yes. I think we'll do that. Honorable Mkiva and Honorable Fesser, before I allow other stakeholders, please. No, can I also request the executive mayor to switch off your video when you are not on the platform? You can switch it on when you come in. Thank you very much.
No, thank you very much, Chair. Good afternoon, and good afternoon to the members of Parliament. Good afternoon to the delegation from Mangaung, stakeholders, the leadership of SALGA, led by Mayor Mhlathuze Water. No, Chairperson, I had raised my hand before you made this wonderful summation that you have just done. I was going to say that perhaps we needed to agree with the approach that is suggested, that let's have another meeting urgently to look into this, so that we can take a decision from an informed position, because now we are receiving information in sketches, in dribs and drabs. And in order for us to take quite an informed decision, I was also going to appeal to his worship, the mayor, to say that it is clear to me into okokubana ingathi kukho amagumgedle namagushenxe aqhubekayo pha kulamasipala uMbaxa waseMangaung. Njengoko ubutshilo, lo masipala ngumasipala obaluleke kakhulu, ngakumbi nangakumbi kuba usesizikithini selizwe. Laa nto xa sinoyibiza ngesintu siyibiza ngoba yintsika, le bekufanele into yokubana zonke izinto zesizwe ziqhinwe kuye, kuba kaloku xa intsika inowa kulula into yokubana nezinye indawo zokubambelela zidilike. Bendizawuthi ke apha kugqiba indawo umfo wasemaqwathini, mhlawumbi xa siphinde sidibana kufuneka naye athathe uxanduva lento kokubana angaxhomekeki komnye umntu xa ezowusinika umfanekiso ngqondweni wento egqubayo phaa kula masipala, ukwenzela into kokubana mhlawumbi naye athathe inyathelo lento kokubana abe nento ayilungisayo ezawusinika umbono wento kokubana kwenzekani kakuhle phaa, ukwenzela into yobana sikwazi uthatha isigqibo esizinzileyo. uyabona ke mhlali ngaphambili so uyibethe wayichothela enhla waba kusinika umkhombandlela wento kokubana yeyiphi imimango ekufanele ivelelwe xa bebuya sidibana kule vexayo bengifuna ukuthi ke mhlawumbi phambi kobana sibe we should not necessarily be presumptuous but you are okay to give a directive of what we expect to get in terms of that report and that report must cover the ground must cover every aspect of what is happening in that municipality and we need a very objective outline of what is manifesting on the ground. Nothing should be hidden from us and I am in full agreement that we cannot afford to delay this given the fact that there is an understanding that a lot is going wrong there and as a result it is putting our people in a dire problem and the municipality finances themselves are in dire straits. We read about that on the media, we read even on the social media about the things that are happening there. But I'm saying that I have always worked with the mayor and I know him to be quite a leader and who has got capacity, but he needs to give us a true picture of what is happening because we are smelling a rat in terms of what now we are hearing here, even though we are hearing it in drips and drabs. The fact that a report could not be presented, people are making all flimsy excuses that there were WhatsApp messages and so on. And I am in full agreement that we cannot accept that. So, Chair, I want to rise and say, I fully endorse the fact that that meeting must occur and it must occur next week. We cannot afford to postpone it beyond next week. And it will just be the question of identifying a suitable date and let them be prepared because I think you have given them everything that needs to be given to them in terms of what they are expected to present before us. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
All right, thank you very much, Honorable Kiva. Honorable Fessa.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, I just want to add, in terms of the reports that we need also the minutes between Manguang and Sentlek or ESCOM about that thing. The previous time we've asked them about that, but we never received it. But please find it that we have to have that report as well, and the minutes, especially the minutes between the two of them. Thank you.
Okay, I wanted to finish first, members of parliament. I thought that I finished. I see the hand of Honorable Nkosi.
Honorable Chair, let me not waste your time. I'm covered by my colleagues, but we want to emphasize the issue of the presentation that when we meet next week, we don't expect ukuthi omunye khombe omunye eswele omunye avikele lakhe. They must make sure that going back they are going to deal with this issue of presentation. We don't want any excuses next week. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable Nkosi. Let me now give stakeholders. I see the end of the executive mayor. You will be followed by acting municipal manager, and then I will take. I see the hand of Mapa Second Kwani and Chimutsi. In that order, yes. So you can start, Your Worship.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. I think, Chairperson, one of the confusions that came is how the invitation is structured, because there's nothing that says you must make a presentation. And also on Tuesday, when I called you, remember I called you and I wanted to know about this meeting because there's nothing. Then you told me that, yes, it's postponed for Friday. You also indicated that we must just prepare ourselves. So I'm just saying the way that we have done this time around, at least we know exactly what is expected of us. The areas that we are indicating we must cover. Please, it's my submission. We're not undermining you and will not undermine you. And I will make sure that all the presentation are with me on Tuesday. And we are going to make sure that those presentations are sent to Salga, are sent to your good selves, are sent also to Cooperative. Like I said, I don't think Mangaung, we are in a situation that really, as I was listening here, we're not a council that is undermining those who are above us. We're a sphere of government, yes. We are having a council that is functional, that is taking decisions, yes. If you check by law, we are expected to meet, take decisions. We are coming from an adjustment budget. And I think we are going to make it. I'm just making an apology. I'm just making an apology. I hear the members, they think that we are undermining them. Please, at least this invitation will empower us to prepare proper. Thank you very much.
Yes, I was saying that in terms of what the work that you do, you will present it when you present to us so that we get to know. We have our own views. We see what we see. We in terms of our template, the situation is not okay, but we'll give you that benefit of doubt. We know your apology and we know the fact that you have a view and we have our own view as well in terms of what we have just experienced. It's okay. Can I take the acting MM?
No, thank you very much, Chairperson. I also want to echo the words of the executive mayor. So now we have got a clear picture of what is expected of us. Please accept our apology. Now we have a clear picture. Thank you. We will prepare as such.
Yes, look, and please don't create that wrong impression. We extended our invitation to you. I've written that letter personally that went to you. We have a standard format that we use. We have a standard procedure that we communicate with provinces. Our letters go to the MEC of a provincial government, and we state fully and clearly what we want to do. But if a committee of parliament come and see you, you must surely know that you need to report and make a presentation. You can't come to a meeting of parliament and just you fold your arms and say you will hear what is it that is said about you and you will respond on that. That's not how we work. And even in terms of intergovernmental relations, we expect to reciprocate and have a mutual cooperation with all stakeholders. And I'm caught by surprise, I must say, about this development that we see here in terms of Mangaung, especially even in terms of your responses and your reasons why you didn't prepare the reports. But it's okay, we'll interact with this. We've made our views, and our views are very clear in terms of what we see. And please don't repeat that. Over to you. It's Mapa Sekangwane first. Mapa Sekangwane, and then followed by Jimmy Motsi. And lastly, I see the hand of Stephanie Lockman Naiju. Then will be the last one before we wrap up the meeting.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. My name is Mapaseka Mutibingwane. I'm the Executive Deputy Mayor of Manguang Metro Municipality. I just want to follow on the footstep. I know that you have already...
Who's that?
It's Dukwana. Can I rise on a point of order here?
Yes, point of...
The mayor has spoken. And I think you have outlined what we need to do. It becomes very problematic that the municipal manager, the deputy mayor, and the speaker will come after the mayor have spoken. We have outlined exactly what needs to happen, and I think there is no need for these comrades or these members to speak now.
Yes.
Let them go and prepare their reports.
I hear you, but we can't suppress any view in a meeting. Maybe she wants to give us another perspective. In the light of that executive deputy mayor, please if you speak, just take that into consideration.
Yes, Chair. Thank you so much. I just wanted to say that I was only aware about this meeting now at 2:30, 1:30. That's when I received the
Okay,
invite.
it's okay. No, it's okay.
Chair.
Then it's okay. We have long crossed that bridge. We've outlined exactly what happened in terms of our communication. It's fine. And Dr. Jimmy Musa.
No, thanks, Chair. The only issue we want to raise, and you did not touch on it, and I raised it earlier, I thought we'll be touching on where we requested a contact meeting because this is a serious matter. Maybe if you can fly down to Mangaung. I don't know the problems in terms of you having challenges with resources, but also us, we are having challenge with resources as some, because now we went and borrow other people's laptop and try to contribute to buy data. So hence we raise it. We said, if it's a contact, you can fly down here, then we can deal on the matters. Because we've got a lot of issues that we want to raise. Also, I think the management thought this is a prime meeting, because normally, even as we know, there's supposed to be presentations that are supposed to be forwarded. Can you tell us, when are we supposed to forward those presentations? When are they supposed to be in your position so that you can go through them before the meeting? That one you were not clear in terms, is it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? Please, can you just clarify on that?
No, it's clear. As Parliament, we work through a schedule. One of the possibilities will be, depending on how it goes, will be to come physically to Mangaung and make that intervention. I don't think that there's any problem. Let's see what happens next week after we have an engagement with you. Specifically, ACTMM, Samu and Imadu indicate that they do not have access to log in. I urge you to facilitate that process so that they do not experience a problem to log in, so that they engage us. After this meeting, Mos Manele, who is the administrator, the secretary of this committee, will get in touch with you, Mr. Motsi. You will exchange numbers and addresses, including email, so that you can submit your own stuff there. Mos Manele will help you to do that. In the meantime, I suggest that he will write his contact details in this meeting. You will get them in the box where you can see messages coming in, so that you are able to communicate properly. Yes. The last one is Mr. Naidu. Stephanie.
Yes, no, thank you very much, Chair.
Sorry, I apologize for that.
It's okay.
Yes.
I'm the Speaker of Mangaung, and I think I can pledge that I will be given a very comprehensive report, synopsis of council decisions. Our council is 85% new, so I can guarantee you, Chair, that we have come into an institution that is plagued by 10 years of bad administration and decision-making. But I think the synopsis will assist the committee to look at the rationale, and we'll be ready.
We want one report. We want one report coming from the municipality, and then that you will be here when we have a meeting. In case that you want to make additions, you will do that, but it must be a single report that comes from the municipality.
Correct, Chair.
From the administration of Mangaung. I now understand why the MEC was making that intervention. Yes. Thank you very much. With that, honorable members and our invited guests, it brings us to the end of this meeting in the way forward that we have outlined about what must happen. Today, this evening, you will receive an email that comes from us indicating the date of the next date of the meeting. Can we excuse all of you, the people from Mangaung, so that we proceed with our meeting? You are all excused. I want to remain with members of parliament, the administrative staff, and those who are duly designated by parliament, including the media people, to remain.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. You are excused. Let's take a 2 minutes break so that we allow all of you to log out. Throughout administration, I still see the Mr. Mokiti Dumas in a meeting. Can you just help him to log out? Help him to log out, please. Or knock him out. Honorable members, the next item on the table is the report of our meeting last week. If you don't mind, we can postpone this item and deal with it next week. Or if you want us to go through it quickly, we can do that. It's up to you. What do you suggest? It's very late on a Friday evening. Yeah.
Chairperson.
Yes, boss.
Can I make a proposal, Chairperson?
Yes.
That noting that normally when you present the committee report, you focus on observation and recommendation. I therefore respectfully request members just to stay for 5 minutes and you look at the observation and recommendation.
Okay, no, flight it, boss. It's okay. Just flight it, yeah. Yeah, just flight it so that we do it quickly. I understand what you're talking about and why you're saying so. Let's do it quickly.
Okay, Chair. Mr. H, the report.
Yeah, I'm typing it now.
Okay. Those are waiting. They want to leave, they can't leave.
Yeah, honorable members, in the meantime, let us say that this is a report of our meeting, a meeting that was held last week with the Department of Water Affairs in respect of the invocation of Section 63 of the Water Service Act by the Department of Water and Water Affairs and Sanitation. If you remember well, the meeting was led by the Minister Senzo Mchunu, with the officials from the department, where they briefed us on the reasons why they invoked Section 63 of the Water Service Act in Mhlathuze Water Board. That is in relation to the district municipality in that province. We in this report we know the background. We have sketched the background that in the district of Mkhanya-Kude there are serious problems, and these problems warranted the invocation of this measure. And this happened after a number of engagements ensued with both the water utility as well as the district of Mkhanya-Kude. Go to point number 4. Point number 4 relates to the fact that a directive was issued in respect of the law, and that pertains to management, operation, and maintenance of water and sanitation infrastructure in Mkhanya-Kude. And that happened on the 3rd of February 2022. And then it does spell out the reasons why this was invoked. And if members remember well, is for a period not exceeding 5 years from 2022 until 2027. And here the department spells out exactly what it was intending to do in respect of that intervention. That will be your point number 5. Your point number 6 would then be the development of the recovery plan, and that encapsulates different stages that the department will undertake to intervene in that in that water utility in the Mkhanya-Kude what we call district municipality. The observations of the committee, this is what I'm going to read. The select committee has noted that in terms of the legislative requirements, the Minister of the Department of Water and Sanitation has issued and communicated the directive to Mkhanya-Kude District Municipality and tabled the notice of directive to the chairperson of the NCOP and to the Minister of Cooperative on 24 February 2022. The Select Committee has also noted that the Department of Water and Sanitation issued the directive in terms of Section 63 of the Water Service Act, number 108 of 1997, in order to undertake management, operations, and maintenance of water and sanitation infrastructure at Mkhanya-Kude District Municipality. The Select Committee has further noted that the Minister of Water and Sanitation has also tabled a notice of intention to take over water and sanitation services functions for a period of not exceeding 5 years, while simultaneously assisting the municipality to build the capacity to manage water and sanitation in the area. The Select Committee has also noted the MEC of Cooperative in KwaZulu-Natal has invoked Section 1391B of the Constitution at Mkhanya-Kude District Municipality in February 2021. The provincial intervention was due to the poor maintenance and operation of water and sanitation infrastructure, and even provision of services to communities, and project delays due to prolonged processes and possible fraud and corruption. As the situation has further deteriorated since the invocation and implementation of Section 1391B of the Constitution intervention, the objective of the directive in terms of Section 63 of the Water Service Act was a complete restoration of an effective water service functions of the municipality. The Select Committee has further noted that the Director General of the Department of Water and Sanitation has been mandated to appoint a technical team composed of officials of Mhlathuze Water, Department of Water and Sanitation, Water Service Authority, and Provincial Government Department of Cooperative to assess progress of intervention and provide regular updates. The Select Committee has also noted and welcomed the Recovery Implementation Program of the Department of Water and Sanitation, which focuses on institutional arrangements, operations and maintenance, technical services, estimated timelines in building sustainable capacity and capability, and lastly, in the restoration plan and exit. The Select Committee has also further noted that Mkhanyakude District Municipality has communicated to the Department of Water and Sanitation an intention to declare a dispute in terms of Section 42 of the Intergovernmental Relations Framework Act. Be that as it may, we present the following recommendations for adoption. Having interacted with the Department of Water and Sanitation on legislative, procedural, and substantive matters relating to the issue of a directive in terms of Section 63 of the Water Service Act, Act number 108 of 1997, the Select Committee recommends as follows. 1, the NCOP approves the directive in Mkhanyakude District Municipality in terms of Section 63 of the Water Service Act, Act number 108 of 1997, not for the period exceeding 5 years. The ministers of the Department of Water and Sanitation and the Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs should, in a spirit of cooperative governance, ensure the deployment of qualified, skilled, and competent officials in the implementation of the directive in the district municipality. The ministers of Water and Sanitation and Cooperative should ensure the participation of sector departments in the implementation of the directive in the district municipality. The Minister of the Department of Water and Sanitation should table quarterly and yearly progress reports on the implementation of the directive in terms of Section 63 of the Water Service Act, number 108 of 1999 to the NCOP. The Department of Water and Sanitation should fast-track the process of business planning and costing and align the required resources with the annual performance plan and budget allocation in order to ensure effective and efficient implementation of the intervention in terms of Section 63 of the Water Service Act in the district municipality. And lastly, the Select Committee on Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, in collaboration and cooperation with the relevant portfolio committee in KwaZulu-Natal Provincial Legislature, should conduct proactive oversight visits to Mkhanyakude District Municipality in order to monitor progress in respect of the implementation of the directive in terms of Section 63 of the Water Service Act and Section 139(1)B of the Constitution. I present this report for consideration in terms of adoption or not. Thank you very much, honorable members. That is the report. Can I check any mover for the adoption of the report? Any seconder, any objection? Let's undertake that process, please, quickly. I see the end of Honorable Karen Visser. Honorable Karen Visser, do you want to come in?
Sorry, that was my hand previously
Chairperson.
Oh, it's a legacy hand. They call it a legacy
Chairperson,
hand.
here is a fresh hand.
Oh, Honorable Kiva.
Yes.
Before,
I move for the adoption.
Before Honorable, I'll come back to you. Honorable Sileku says before that. Honorable Sileki, over to you.
We must induct Honorable Kiva how we operate in this committee. Still fresh. Chair, just on a point of clarity.
What do or is that a side?
It was just on a light note, Chair.
Okay, no problem.
Chair, I'm just on 8.1.6. Is there any specific time that we are looking at in terms of doing the oversight? Because as it stands now, it's vague. It can happen now, it can happen next year, but there is no specifics.
Okay. Yes. Remember, we are going to KZN next month to do our oversight. I've specifically arranged that we engage with Mkhanya Kudi as well as the utility, the water utility company, as well as the communities in that area when we do our oversight next month. We will immediately cater for that. Yes. Let me go back to you, Honorable Kiva.
Chairperson.
Or before that, Honorable Sheikh wants to say something.
Yeah, no, thank you, Chair. I think I heard what Honorable Kiva said earlier. So I just thought before he repeats that, I'm okay with observations as well as recommendations, except for the wording of 8.1.1. I think even as you already mentioned, you had a problem. I think it's saying, I'm sorry, my reports on
light it again, Moss.
Okay, Chairperson.
It's a quick one.
Slide the presentation, go to the recommendations.
Chair 8.1.1, where it says not for the period exceeding 5 years, it should rather read as for the period not exceeding 5 years. I just wanted to make that correction because the way.
Yes, I battled. For the remove not and place that not between period and exceeding. That not. Yes, thank you very much for that, Honorable. Let me go back to Honorable Kiva.
Chairperson.
Yes.
I was happy with the recommendation, and I was moving to say that let's adopt that because I am satisfied in terms of what is going to happen after the adoption, which includes the other steps that follow. Then we'll take it from there. I move for the adoption, therefore.
All right, thank you very much. Move up for the adoption. Honorable Ngosi.
I second, Honorable Chair. Honorable Bartlett.
You second, Honorable Bartlett. Yes. All right, thank you very much. Honorable Ngosi, I see your hand up.
Chair, she must unmute.
Oh, she must take it. She must know her hand. Any objection? Any objection to the adoption of the report? No objection. Any dissenting voice? Dissension? Abstention? None. Thank you very much. The report is adopted, and this report will be forwarded to Council for adoption. Thank you very much, honorable members. Honorable members, this brings us to the end of our meeting. As I indicated, we are going to have a short discussion with Moss today, and then find a way in which we can accommodate Bloemfontein. This is a dire situation. we need to make that intervention. It's quite important. You can see that this is what is happening, and we need to intervene and resolve the problems, help to resolve the problems in that municipality. With that, thank you very much for honoring this invite.
Sorry, Chair, I just want to ask something more.
Yes.
I think we should go to Bloemfontein and meet them face to face. I think it will bring stability with the people there. And I also think, because this thing of the political instability needs to be addressed.
Okay.
And I think, let's see if we cannot fit it in somewhere.
Okay, maybe next week. Let me try my luck. Before I finalize with Moss, I will try my luck and discuss with the chair of chairs, Honorable Nyambi, and the chief whip to sensitize them about the importance of the situation, and that we are ready next week on an agency basis to go to Mangaung and spend, maybe for that matter and for that reason, decide to spend about two weeks or 2 days, and then just look at our program, what is transpiring next week, what is happening. If we are allowed, we can, and if there is any session of parliament, we can then find a way of holding it whilst we are there. That requires us to be in the meeting. I will do that. I will really do that. All right. Thank you very much for coming, honorable members. We will communicate with you this afternoon, this evening, in terms of the way forward in respect of this, after I make those interventions. Okay. Thank you very much. And the meeting stand adjourned. Bye-bye, and have a lovely weekend.
Long live the chair.
Thank you very much, person. Malibongwe.
Individuals to do an introspective